Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back. Alrighty, so last time you discovered the entrance, you met with them, they gave you a small little mission, and they let you stay with them. They also gave Knox his wand, which I believe I already equipped it to you.
Abracapocus.
Remember correct.
Yep, you have. I've got it.
Yes. And then your other spell
Items,
focus
spell
is
focus.
gone, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, something I just want to point out for that wand is that it will, whenever you cast a spell, it will, now that you're attuned to it, it'll just come out.
But hey.
And it'll go back when you're, not doing it. If someone wanted to detect it, they'd have to use True Sight to actually detect it. So someone can detect that you have it on you, but they have to use True Sight to be able to.
Is invisible?
It can
Basically.
absorb into me by the looks.
Yeah, it
Oh,
absorbs into yourself. Yep. Those are the only two things. I explained that it looks different depending. Each one looks different depending on the person. It's not just one look. Yeah. Okay. That's enough about that. You were the one who learned. Did you learn the spells, or were you given scrolls for the spells?
I was given scrolls.
You were given scrolls. Okay. I just created the spells right off the bat.
Are we pretending that all casters are wizards?
When it comes to scrolls, anyone can use them. Because scrolls are one-time use.
The default, or like the official spell scrolls are actually extraordinarily limited, so most people homebrew them to be cooler.
I homebrew it to be more like video game logic, where spell scrolls act once.
You find it, you learn it, it's gone.
Well, you find it, you use it, it's gone.
Okay, so
so you can only cast it once.
Yes. You don't learn it, you
normally
use it.
the only ones that can learn spells from a spell scroll are wizards.
Yes. Technically, yes.
Also, normally the only people who can use spell scrolls are casters who have that spell on their class's spell list.
Well, we're gonna ignore that.
Which ruling. Is, yeah, that one's a little.
We're gonna ignore that ruling. As long as you have.
Why didn't I just have the spell?
Yeah, as long as you have some sort of magical ability, you can use the scroll. We'll set it as that rule point. But you don't learn it, you use it, and then you lose it.
Fair enough.
So, just a quick recap for you, because you have the scrolls. Quicken. You touch one willing creature once before the duration of this. Okay. You can touch one willing creature before the spell duration expires. You can give the target 1d4 and add that number to either the initiative roll or dexterity saving throw they just made. Then the spell ends. That's
the casting time of this spell.
So it's a concentration. So you can cast it beforehand and then decide to use it on yourself after doing an initiative roll or dexterity saving, or you can touch someone else and give them the ability to use it.
Okay.
All right.
And then Bloody Smite, which is...
So that's also a one-time use spell?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I
Because
thought
you
that
got
was.
scrolls for them.
Yeah. I misunderstood when I got the scroll.
Hmm.
Because I thought because of the affinity with the blood magic that I had, that it was something I would learn.
No. No.
A lot of people homebrew spell scrolls to just like, everyone learns everything.
Yeah, no. Use it, you lose it. Although, because of your affinity with blood magic in general, you technically would be able to learn this, just not from the scroll.
Fair enough.
If that makes sense. Basically, the scroll is like activating, using, and that's it. There's no like actual text of how it works and things like that. I'm explaining how it works because you don't have the things in front of you.
Yeah. It like the spell scroll actually stores the magic itself. It's already
Yes.
been cast. It's just a point and shoot.
Yep. Essentially.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
This one is a bonus action. It is a concentration.
bad.
The duration is a concentration up to 1 minute.
So, other question.
Yes.
If it's a bonus action, do the rules still apply? Whereas you can only, like, if you cast a spell as a full action, you could only usually cast a other spell as a bonus action if it's a cantrip. Can you use the scroll as a bonus action if you've used a spell as your full action?
I'm
I can
going
look
to
that up
say
if you want me to.
yes, because by technical sake, you're using an item. You're not actually casting the spell.
Cool.
Since the scroll already has the spell casted on it, you're just releasing it.
Mhm.
You're not technically casting the spell.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah. This one's a little more complicated and take a minute to do, so I'm just gonna copy and paste this in chat. Basically, they take some necrotic damage, and then they can't cast any spells with verbal what is it, require components, if they fail a concentration saving throw. Constitution saving throw. Jesus, I cannot speak. So, yeah. That's the basic gist of it. Alrighty, so you two wake up. You guys are still in the encampment.
Just for silliness, since everyone in the place knew anyways, Finmir insisted on having a nap in wolf form.
That's fine. In full wolf form or partial?
Full wolf form.
Okay.
I like to imagine that's how he walked around the Uncharted lands by default.
Nox, you wake up to this furry beast right next to you.
Standard. I've got a wolf.
Big mouthed yawn.
That's the point where every dog owner goes, "Oh, big stretch." And if you don't, you're a psycho.
Yes, that is so true.
Is morning, sir. Not fun. But we should get a move on.
Yes, we have a lot to do.
So we stop by Mason's master's place, see if they're there. Go to the nation to the north, see if one of our enemies can be found easily within the borders. And then from there straight on to the church.
Yes, we will have to be careful about how we enter. The last time I was there was a brainwashing element to the place. If unguarded, it can be quite unpleasant.
Does it share a border with the Uncharted lands? I find most nations don't guard it very heavily, if at all.
It does, but I believe they are sheer cliffs.
We could handle that, right?
I certainly could. A little
That-
perseverance. They certainly wouldn't expect it.
Alright. So now that the path is laid out before us, let's get out of these civilized parts.
As you emerge from the tent, you see several people just going around doing their business. You get out of one of several tents that are all lined up around this bank. The stairs going back upwards is on the opposite side from where the tent that you guys were sleeping in. Most of the people going around look to be loading up a ship that is within the bay itself. It's not like a man of war type ship. It's more of a smaller vessel.
Relocating? Let me know.
As you guys go and look around, one of the people who were in that meeting the night before is watching over the progress.
Yeah,
What is
sure, why
going
not?
on here?
Oh, nothing much. Just setting out to go get some supplies and whatnot from other nations.
An everyday occurrence?
Yeah, every once in a while.
Where are you bound?
This time, I believe they're going to the Tyr Empire.
Oh wow, okay.
War.
So all the way west.
Is it faster by water?
Yes, much faster than land.
Yeah, I can't imagine you would want to trek all of that across the Uncharted lands.
That's a factor.
Are there
Alright.
hazards by traveling by ocean?
Some sea monsters and whatnot, but as long as you stick to the wind and you mind your own business, really, most things won't attack.
Amazing that going all the way around to the other side of the world is faster by sea.
It'll be about 2-3 weeks. The sails are imbued with magic, as well as the boat, so it travels a bit faster than the average vessel.
Will you be traveling via the south or the north?
The south.
Ah, unfortunate. We are bound for the north.
Yes. The northern border for the Kingdom of Ulv is more heavily guarded than the southern border, ship-wise.
Yes, we recall the last time we entered this domain.
Is it worth
Was-
avoiding?
Do they guard people leaving as much as they do entering?
Yes, especially if they have technical advances and other technology. The southern guards are a little more lenient as long as you don't have any sort of technology that is wildly advanced. They don't normally harass you. But to the north, there are a lot more nations, as well as the Kraken's Republic, which is full of pirates. So they
Yeah,
fear
I've
going
been
around
there.
that way a lot more. For if you're shipwrecked, they can take whatever types of technology you have and use it to their advantage.
I would say I was on good terms with the Kraken's Republic, but I dare say that's changed. I won't go into the details.
All right. We will
Something to
be
do with
best
killing
off
the
our foot
prince.
then.
I'm pretty sure you still are on good terms.
Oh, I suppose they don't actually know what happened to Dante.
Yeah.
Well, they certainly don't know who's responsible.
Like the like there's really only like one person who would be like upset about it
Yeah, his
somewhat.
dad, surely.
Like most people don't know what happened, so
That's true. I think only Cat Lady does.
Cat Lady and Dante's father, because you told him.
Well, I told him he died.
Yes.
I didn't tell him I sacrificed him.
No, you didn't.
I kind of left that bit out.
But
Anyway,
you would lie to a nation's leader? Uh,
Technically,
if it's
wasn't
the
like a
father
whole
of
nation
someone
leader.
I sacrificed, yes.
okay.
Anyway, back on topic. So if we wish to enter the kingdom of Borin, what route would you suggest?
Honestly, I'd probably stick to the main road going out. You'd go into the university's borders, which is a lot easier to traverse than the wilds of the Kingdom of Ulv. Plus, there's no gates directly attached to the Kingdom of Born. You'd have to go through the gate to the University of Skills regardless.
So above table,
Mm-hmm.
main road is the red lines, right?
So, if you look at the main map, on
Yep.
the Kingdom of Ulv,
Yes.
they are black. They're like a black-red because their roads are paved. Other than that, because you can see it stops at the gate, if you're looking at the map for the Kingdom of Born, right by Steepstall, it like stops. The black stops at where the gate is, and then it's red. The red is, yes, the main line. The main pathway.
So basically, if we head back to the university, we can then, through the forest, which is Nox's home, into Borin.
Yep.
Nice. Now we can go home.
Yep.
And if I remember right, there was a town in after we've gone to, is it Aenor? I want to say Aenor. Place in Ulv that we need to go to for. Yeah, Aenor. We could actually, instead of going north, we could go back to Frey Valley to the library because it had a door that linked to the university's library.
Insfarni also has the same library.
Insfarni. Does it? No, yeah, but we need to go to Aenor. Though actually, it'd be quicker to go to Aenor and back to Insfarni than it would be to go all the way through the mountains again.
Or they could also have a branch. You never know.
That would definitely be worth investigating. All right, we will search for a library in Aenor because that will allow us to quickly shuttle back and forth. I like libraries.
libraries are so nice. The
Lots of stuff to burn. If
were
you
we
get
still
gold.
going to stop by Mason's place first, or does it make
Yeah,
more
yeah.
sense
So
to-
Aenor is Mason's place.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's so Aenor is the town in the central southern kingdom of Ulv that we passed. We were going to pass on the way here, but we ended up taking a side jaunt through the woods, which means we never actually went near it. To Essaluna on the south coast, and then we came to Insafani. So now we'll head back from Insafani up to Aenor for Mason's contacts, and then once we're done there, with any luck, the library will have a door through to the University of Skills, and potentially the university may have a door to the university library may have a door to a library in Boren, if we're really lucky. Because this is a world that seems to have actually cottoned on to fast travel. I love it.
All right. So let's be on our way. We must
Thank
travel
you
through
for
the
all
daylight.
your help.
You're welcome.
Should we have need to contact you again, is there any way we could do that, or would it be best to just travel via the library?
We will contact you when the time is right. We will be watching.
Nox would just nod.
Take care of your wand. It will be very important in the days to come.
I will, both of them.
And he goes back to what he was doing.
Nox would turn to Fenrir and say, well, shall we?
Yes. Making
That's-
progress feels nice.
Yeah.
As you
And I'd
ascend
say-
the stairs, the long ass stairs, once you get to about a third way to the top, there is a button on the wall that says "Push me to exit."
Push. How
What a
thoughtful of them to
strange
label it.
doorknob.
You hear a click, and as you ascend higher up, as you get to the blocked off exit, it starts to open.
You know how these Ulverites like their technology.
And as you get out, you see that the forge is blocked off again. And the dwarf comes out and he goes, "Well, time to open up shop."
Nox would... just trying to think. I take it the bow that he got, the Hellfire longbow, does it still use standard ammunition?
Mm-hmm.
Or does it doesn't generate its own?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so in that case, he would say, could I trouble you for some arrows? May as well stock up. We have a long journey ahead, and I'm sure it will have some perils.
Sure. I do not remember what the price of arrows are.
Whatever the better ones are that he has.
I think there might just be one.
Yeah, I think there is just one. I'm just, rolling with it.
So
To be fair, I've never really tracked my arrow usage.
I don't blame you.
The thing is, I
okay,
think I've only ever
yeah,
fired like 2 arrows in a
fine.
combat at tops.
I hate that everything's written in gold. Why can't you standardize things to be written in other amounts?
What? Winging.
So, how does
Like-
it go again? So gold is 10 silver.
Yeah. And that's 10 copper, so it's literally just add zeros.
It's basically
I have to go
standard money.
backwards.
Also, you normally buy arrows in sets of 20 because that's one quiver.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if is this set so that it's 20 arrows or one arrow is my question
Should tell
now.
you.
Because
Is it more than a
it
gold?
says no, it's not. It is far
Oh,
less
okay.
than 1 gold. Which is why
I can
I'm
look it up real
curious
quick for you.
as to like, is this cost per? Because it does say bundle size 20, but above it is cost 0.05 gold.
20 arrows cost 1 gold.
20 arrows is 1 gold. Okay, so 1 gold
Sorry.
for a bundle.
Also, I guess, yeah, the book, it just calls out, like, oh, 20 sling bullets is 4 copper pieces. Like, it doesn't do 0.0 whatever.
Yeah, in this
Apparently
it
that's
does.
just a beyond thing.
It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get why it didn't just say that this is a quiver and people could just divide it down as they see fit.
Exactly.
Oh no, people have to do math.
So he gives you a quiver of 20 arrows.
Nice. Not
They're all bundled up and tied together.
Sling it over his shoulder and nod. Well, good business to you.
Go business to you.
And he
You will get out of your hair.
I would say as well, before Nox left that place, he would have activated the human mirage crystal.
Mm-hmm. As you exit into the town is, it's the same as it was. As you get to the square, not much is happening. People are kind of going around doing their business. This town's pretty sleepy. There's not much that goes on.
I'm thinking we'll just head out. No reason to loiter.
No, Nox would just pass through. Unless anything like striking caught his eye, he would just pass through.
The only striking thing would be where you got your scrolls. Which would
Yeah,
be
that's
that
literally
shop
on
at
the
the edge
path
of
on the way
town.
out, isn't it?
Is it gone?
Is what gone?
The store? That would be what
That would be
we consider
striking.
that talking.
Yes. It is gone.
I love that. Yeah, it's gone.
The sign is gone. As you look into the windows, it is completely cleared out. It is absolutely empty. Where it used to look like from where the counter was, there was like another wall. This is just one big old room.
Druid, I'm far more certain now that you did dealings with a witch.
It wouldn't be the first time.
That is probably not the safest habit.
On,
As long as you were
as
good
you
to
look
them,
through the
they seem to be
window,
reasonably
you see there is a folded envelope in the center of the room.
He's going in. That's just too tempting.
You set off the dozens of traps all at once.
Nope. As you enter and as you pick up the letter and open it, written on it in, I think you know Elven, don't you?
I do.
In Elven, it's in very fancy Elven calligraphy. It says, "Thank you for the town of Blank's patronage. The Weary Mystics has moved on. We may see you again."
This letter's just for anyone who's curious.
Nox is going to pocket that for future use.
As you go to pocket it, the letter bursts into flames.
Nox looks clearly unimpressed and then mutters something about definitely a witch. And turns to leave.
All right.
Yeah, still talking to you just in casual Sylvan. It's just be like, you sure those scrolls she gave you were safe?
They seem legitimate. But I've got enough skills of my own to back them up if they
And we zoom out into here. Alrighty. On the road again. Again.
I'm on my way.
Oh no, you're getting demonetized by the second.
As you get to about halfway, Nox, you still have the crystal ball, don't you?
Still have a crystal.
From the cat lady.
What did you seal again?
Yes. I'm just gonna say yes. I can't remember. I'm just gonna smile and nod.
You feel the crystal ball start to like vibrate within your bag.
Oh, blimey, where have I got that?
As you take it out, you see the cat lady, and she, from the background, it looks like she's in her house that was in the university.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Hello, Nox."
Funny, I was just talking about you yesterday.
I know.
That's the bee.
Like, when she says I know, like, his eyes widen slightly, but he then composes himself again pretty quick.
I also know you met Alicia.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That was interesting.
I
said
wouldn't
met, like,
become too
cat.
good friends with her. She tends to meddle in matters that should not be involved. After all, she is an enchantress of
Well,
several
she was
kinds.
kind enough to empower our armaments and send us on our way.
Well, that was very kind of her.
It was.
She doesn't do
She
that
seemed-
for just anyone.
She seemed to protect us from another entity that was having its way with us.
You went into her forest, didn't you?
Yes, we sought refuge off the beaten path and quickly came to regret it.
Yes. And the being that lives in there likes to torment people. I can see why she felt pity enough to reward you. However, this news is a bit grave. I have discovered that another one of the 5 are controlling the headmaster of the university.
Controlling how? Bribery or literal control?
I'm not entirely sure. I know it's not bribery, and I know it's not mind control, but for some reason, someone other than him seems to have a lot more power around here than they should have.
I would
Is
call
it
that news
possible
bittersweet.
that they have supplanted him and are using magic to appear as him?
No, because he is not the one doing the acts. I fear it's someone else, but I have no clue as to whom. I just know that whichever policies or makings that come across his desk from said person gets approved right away without even being read.
It's grave news indeed.
Yes.
But that gives us a location and a lead.
Yes, it does. It is good news that Fenrir is paying attention.
The
Nox just gets that really unimpressed look on his face.
I feared that he would be a little too preoccupied with trying to hunt these people down to pay attention to the smaller details.
He's surprisingly astute.
That's good to hear. I may have to put that astuteness to the test. Or to good use. One day.
I feel like I'm being judged.
Not at all.
Only by her cats.
Exactly. Anywho, you guys are halfway to the village of Enor, are you not?
Yes, that's where we're heading next.
Yes.
Halfway is generous.
Yes.
We were planning to conduct some business there with an ally of ours and then use the library, if there is one, to come straight to the university. Save us a lot of travel.
The main library has been taken over.
How convenient.
I do not know by whom. Well, actually, I lie. I do know by whom. The new head of magic and magic development, who replaced Yen Sidric, he is quite extreme in his viewpoints of the library. He does not feel that traveling to and from other places from the library should be necessary just to get to a new place. If you plan to do so, watch your backs.
That is a good warning. We will not be seen.
Perhaps we should only use this method in emergencies.
I consider this whole timeline an emergency.
Yes.
What's the chance that we get caught?
I do know, however, that after observing his actions for some time, that I do believe he is not in league with the Five. His
So,
viewpoints seem his own.
Although he is extreme, he could prove a useful ally if
This
he
is
likes to play things by the book. But timing could be important because if we tip him off, he may just go blindly charging in. We have to be careful, and I don't think we should mention anything until we have irrefutable evidence. Or he may come after us for making such accusations.
Yes, quite. I do know, however, he is quite the religious man.
Oh no.
Any particular god?
Yes,
Do not say
actually.
the saviors.
No, surprisingly.
Would have ruined my day.
I in
Nox, I would
fact,
consider myself quite the religious man.
I got to go and grab that again. Not Greek. Anubis, actually.
Oh, God of Death.
Yes, he is quite interested in death. After all, they don't call him the Magister of Death for nothing.
Well, we will try to stay out of his hair for as long as feasible. Any passage will be discreet. And then if need be, perhaps we can convince him that our uses are of high value.
Maybe, maybe not. Depends. But we will see. Do you have any news to share as well?
We found the Guardians of the Mind.
Oh? Will they
And
be aiding us at all?
They have given us
no.
the wand required to
wand.
control the Mind Stone.
Hmm.
So
Its
it will
original
allow us to...
holdings. That will prove
Exactly.
mighty useful to you.
Yes, it will allow us to disarm the... Was it the Bishop? The Pope?
Pope.
The Pope. It will allow us to disarm the Pope.
They claim
And-
that if they get the Mind Stone, even it would greatly dissuade the Demon Prince's progress, should he be summoned.
That
Yes.
is almost a guarantee, certainty.
So we
From the
are-
information that I have been gathering, as well as some of my other colleagues, we do believe that the Church of the Savior, at least the Pope and the higher-ups surrounding him, are within Lord Petdan's pocket, as it will. We do believe that if the Demon Prince was resurrected, that the stone would be almost immediately given to him.
Well, we will do our utmost to ensure that that does not happen, and that it is returned to the Guardians.
Yes.
Should we still prioritize our attacks on the servants? That is, our goal there is to keep the prince from being summoned at all.
If we can control 2 of the 3 keys, I think that would be enough. But that does mean we need to take down at least 1 more servant.
There are
Yes.
2
And
on
out
the
of-
simply on the way to the church. Seems most of them have chosen this side of the nation. That is, unless our servant in Bulv ended up migrating to the university.
I do not believe that is such. As far as I can tell, there is just one here. Although, it may have, but...
What I was implying was that yours is the same, that we heard 2 stories of the same man who started in Bulv and ended in the university.
It is a possibility.
We never
However,
heard
I would
any-
still investigate both places. Just to make sure.
Yes, we
If you
did
seem
not hear
bored-
that it was old information in Bulv, just that it was vague information.
Yes.
If one of his allies is in Boron, he would almost certainly have to travel through the university to return to the Blasted Lands. Uncharted Lands.
Unless they have some kind of means of teleportation. It seems like that is exceedingly less rare the more you talk about your adventures.
Well, I have my own way of getting around. I wouldn't say it's teleportation per se.
But between the libraries and you and others, I would not be surprised if they left the kingdom through none of its borders.
The libraries are a bit tricky, though. The only reason why the libraries work is because you're with Nox.
That would raise an eyebrow from Nox.
The libraries are in tune with those who are enrolled with the university itself. However, because Fenrir
That's
is
why it
such
costs
a
them.
close companion to you after such point in time, your attunement with it shields him and allows him to go pass through as well. However, with how oddly the headmaster has been acting, there is no guarantee that he did not enroll the others blindly by signing off on these measures.
Interesting.
I find
We
it
will
strange
continue
that
our
they wish
plans.
to shut it.
Not what
Go
we're
for
saying.
it.
I find it strange that they wish to shut it down so forcibly when only members of the university are able to use it.
It is not the most complex of enchantments, to be fair. A good wizard who knows of teleportation magic and knows how to manipulate it would be able to manipulate it and allow them to go through.
Times are getting more
That
dangerous.
Definitely.
It's
That
not
does
the most
certainly-
complex. It's not as complex as the travel from the clock tower to the library. Those portals are as complex as the human mind.
That certainly does put a security risk on it.
I had imagined he simply didn't want students going into dangerous areas.
That is also a factor.
Not all borders are keeping people out.
Perhaps a conversation with him may be necessary. If we inform him of what it is we are doing and why we need the network to travel, maybe he has some form of key would allow us to travel even where he's shut down.
It is
If he does not
possible,
like-
but you'd have to speak to him and see. After all, Yen Sidric created all of these. Not even I know the interworkings of most of them.
If he does not
We
like the
did
prince's
have-
servant, then perhaps us taking him out could get us onto his good side. Although that is hopeful, I admit.
Are you aware of his opinion of his predecessor?
After the events that transpired, Nox, I and several others conspired to make Yen Sidric more of a martyr. What he was doing would have destroyed relations with all people, all countries, and would tear this university apart.
Indeed.
We decided to keep what was happening a secret. After some
understand your reasoning.
time, it worked. And I believe you are one of the only people who fully know the truth of what happened that day.
And thankfully, I'm probably one of the best equipped to guard my mind from people finding out.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. There is another who I know who could probably beat you in that skill.
Now you have my interest.
You will probably not meet him. He does not like others. Much like yourself.
That is certainly a safeguard against bumping into them, I'm sure.
Yes. Although I have not seen them for several millennia. So, might be good to go and try to find his hiding hole. No, I have more important things to deal with.
The longer I spend in this civilized world, the more it seems even nations have their facades.
All nations have a facade, just as all people have their own facades.
Maybe most aren't quite as literal as mine.
That is the truth. Just full fact.
Alright. So we will be on to the next city and hopefully see you soon through the library. If all goes well, you won't even hear of our arrival before we're at your front door.
I wouldn't necessarily count on that.
I can hope for the best. Things have finally gone well for once.
I will know when you arrive. Tootaloo. And the crystal ball, instead of the cat lady's face in there, it turns to like a white smoke that encompasses the whole crystal ball.
I thought it was going to turn into a white cat.
Nope.
Cheshire Cat just grins out from
Just
the
a
ball.
sleeping cat is the default.
Yeah. AFK, sleeping cat.
I want to double check that it's clear. I was implying that maybe we wouldn't be caught and make a big scene at the library. That's why she wouldn't have heard of our arrival. Because it wouldn't have been like front
she
page
hears
news.
everything.
Oh yeah,
She
that's fair
knows
too.
all.
All right. Maybe this time we won't have any forest nymphs in our way.
Maybe not.
You know, at a certain point, I prefer the monsters that just try to kill you. All of these weird magical ones outside of the harsh lands.
As you get to the crossroads you've been before, you see in the distance a child.
A child.
Oh, are we like many hours walk from any civilization and they're just alone?
You're probably like 2 days from Aranor.
But we're not like approaching
Have we seen
a new
any
town.
other buildings?
Like, I'm saying this kid is alone in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Not suspicious at all.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't resemble a doll
Nope.
or
Nope. Just a
Murderer.
human child.
Oh god, it's human. It's even more suspicious now.
Okay. Is this like immediately or is this a couple days later?
This is a couple days later.
Okay. Over the course of nights, I want to just say that I'm giving Uller a little update on where we're heading and a little prayer for any specific information or any hints towards finding our enemies.
Mm-hmm.
But in this exact moment, he's just gonna do like just pinch his forehead and do like a minor prayer and just be like, by Uller, a random lost child.
She is playing in the river nearby.
Soon to be a drowned random lost child.
The river is where she is. It's not that deep, so she can stand. The water goes up to like her ankles.
Nox, I presume this is not normal outside of my home.
I don't have shape water actives.
Do small children just roam between towns? I know it's safer out here, but not that safe.
Sorry, did you say like what she was wearing or how she looked?
Nope.
So okay, so what is she wearing? How does she look? Does she look ragged? Does she look well dressed?
She looks dressed. She looks like a normal, average commoner. She has like a simple dress on. Her hair is like done, nicely like combed out, just like long, flowing like red hair. She has some freckles across her nose and across just under her eyes, like a strip almost going across her face. Seems to be enjoying herself. As you look around a little more, you can't see anyone else in the area.
Finro's like approach to get a good sniff to see if anyone's been in the area.
You do not smell anything other than her. And
Is Fenris
in
still
terms
in
of
full
people.
wolf?
No, but he can smell either way, so.
Nox would stand back and suggest to him, perhaps if you approach her as an animal, she might be less frightened.
Okay, DM.
Mm-hmm.
One of the only things that, because of exactly how we flavored this
Don't eat her.
werewolf, that this doesn't do, is turn into a regular wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should do this.
So I wanted to double check that because, like, yeah, it's
Mhm.
because it's
You'd
because
be
the thing
like a
assumed-
7-8 foot tall monster approaching her.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to confirm I can't turn into a normal looking wolf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can look
So-
at like a monster and approach her if you want to.
Okay, so yeah, so Nox, that's how this world works. Werewolves cannot turn into normal wolves.
Okie dokie. Well, that changes things just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What could Nox turn into that she might like but not want to kill?
A butterfly.
I don't know. Children are murderers.
No,
You'll
because
see a cat and be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna swing it around."
Nox sort of looks at Fenrir and said, well, I could always change into a dog or a horse. So he looks less impressed at the latter suggestion.
I was thinking of just approaching, but if you think there's something that would gleam, perhaps it would be safer.
Nox sort of like touches a crystal on his neck and then says, actually, yes, I keep forgetting that I'm less likely to frighten her like this.
I know I have strange clothing, but children typically aren't so judgmental. Well, at least particular to me. Some children fear anyone they don't know. But
Yes. Well, let's go and say hello, but let's make plenty of noise approaching so she's not startled.
We'll just like walk regularly towards the stream bank, and I'm thinking stopping just
Yeah.
like at the edge of the water, at least 10, 20 feet away, and just be like, "Little girl, are you all right? Do you speak this language?"
What are you speaking?
Common.
She turns to you and goes, "Yes."
Are you lost?
No.
Do you need any help?
No.
All right.
Insight.
All right. Clap walks away.
Go ahead.
We are done here. Bye.
She said she's good. I believe her.
25 on insight.
She seems to be telling the truth. She does not need any assistance.
She's suspicious.
All right. Ready to go.
She
God,
herself
we
might
solved
be
that
suspicious,
situation.
but her words are telling the truth.
Be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. What are you doing out here?
Playing.
So far from town.
I'm not too far.
How far?
My home is right down there. And she points down the river.
Seems
Oh
like
God!
she lives
Does
nearby.
that river go back down to Almera's? Almera's?
To where?
The Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
Nox.
I mean, but that's like far, right? Actually, not that far.
Yeah, but Nox would visibly look a little uncomfortable all of a sudden.
Fenrir just stands up pretty confident and happy. He's like, seems she lives nearby. Must be within her backyard.
Who
No
do you
need
live
to
with?
interfere with us, no problem.
I lived with my mommy and my daddy.
Good for you.
Did she say lived?
She did.
Like past tense?
Mm-hmm.
Fenrir at this point is basically like turning and walking away, like slowly, just seeing if Nox also does the same.
I mean... part of me's like, this is not gonna end well. And then part of me's like, I can't leave her. But it's not
Your
gonna
character
end
might also
well.
be more good than mine. Mine has just enough of a just enough of a conscience to not completely leave the situation untouched. But he needs like one excuse to leave.
Are you sure you're quite safe out here by yourself?
Mm-hmm. She nods. You know how the little kids nod, like that big old nod where it's like
Yep.
full like motion? She does that.
He would, say, are we on the right path for Aenor?
Yeah.
Have you seen anything strange lately?
I saw a giant monster go into the forest. And she points to the forest.
What kind of monster?
I believe they call it. Give me 1 second to look up the actual name of it.
Please get it a little wrong.
No.
It's an Albala.
It's an obelisk.
I believe they call
I believe they call it a Tarrasque.
a nightmare.
And this thing left you alone?
It seemed pretty intent on leaving me alone.
Has Fenrir heard of nightmares?
Make a history check.
I need to double check something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can use a maneuver, so I'll do that. E8. Darn, only an 8.
You are you vaguely know that they're like fiends, but other than that, you don't know like any other information.
Alright. Yeah, it was just like, are these a thing where he's from? But, he'll just say, like, it's a fiend. He'll be like, he'll ask her, is it this tall? He'll hold his hand, like, 7 feet in the air.
Maybe from its head to the floor, but the body is much lower.
Alright.
Are they unusual in this area?
Pretty unusual, yes.
Is that, with what Nox knows of Pet Dan's allies and Pet Dan's general methods, would he have any reason to believe that this would be linked to one of them, like a pet or something?
It's a possibility. However, they're not because you're a druid, you would know that they're not the hardest of monsters or of creatures to summon. If someone intently tried to summon them, they are not the hardest thing to summon.
Nox would look to Fenrir and sort of raise a questioning eyebrow. Do you think it's worth investigating, or should we just keep to our task?
Please don't leave me.
You said you were fine.
I am. But if you leave, I'll have no one to play with.
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
So, sorry, little girl, but we are very busy.
Aw, but you're already in my house.
Now I'm confused.
And you look around and you're inside a house.
Oh, good God, we're doomed.
The house is old and worn. Pieces of the roof are missing. You can see up into the outside. The walls look to have been burned.
Do I know anything about what a nightmare's abilities are?
Roll me Arcana.
That's a 3.
Nope.
Oh, why do I get the feeling she's the bloody nightmare? Or should I say I don't get the feeling she's a nightmare? Nox would be very taken aback. And being surprised by child in any other way than the way children like constantly surprise you anyway, he would instinctively, in a non-threatening way, reach out to try and touch her mind to get a gauge of what's going on here. To see if there's more than meets the eye.
As you touch her, she goes, "Why are you touching me, mister?" And she melds into just a bunch of will-o-wisps. And they all float apart from each other.
Nox, run!
I don't think running would do us any good right now. Like his eyes, he would keep his hand sort of outstretched, but like palm turned up, and as he's doing that, his eyes would be following the sort of will-o'-the-wisps. What do you wish from us?
What do you mean?
Surely you brought us here for a reason.
I brought you here to play.
And what does that involve?
Most people cry when they play with me.
Why is that?
I don't know.
How long have you lived here?
I can't remember. I guess I've always been here. But no one ever comes to play. And all who do cry and die from sadness.
Granted, that's a little sinister.
Druid. Ghosts and will-o'-wisps are not to be toyed with.
I don't feel an aggressive response will do us any favors right now.
Nor do I. But even a single outburst can nearly kill a mortal man.
What can we do for you that would be sufficient for you to allow us to go on our way?
You could suffer. And Fenrir...
Do you wonder why people don't come to play?
And Nox. Fenrir, you feel it more, but Nox, you both feel as a spear juts out and stabs the two of you in the side. Fenrir, as it stabs you, it starts to burn. As if you poured acid on your own skin.
I'll yell over it.
And you know this feeling very well. As the tinge of silver.
So, do I know much about will-o'-the-wisps? Obviously, Fenrir seems to know stuff. Is it anything I'd have been...
are normally just harmful, undead. They normally just float around. They don't do a lot of things. Yeah, they're tiny. The most that they'll do to protect themselves is they'll shock the person attacking them. But these will-o-wisps that are floating around, they're just floating around. They're not doing anything.
Okay.
As a just like the thing that I was going off of, so that way it can be corrected. Will will-o-wisps are known to follow around things that kill, and then they like feed on the dying.
Mm-hmm.
Which would explain why she likes death. Okay. So he would clutch at his side and back towards Fenrir and say, okay, I like your plan. I'll create an opportunity.
I'm gonna say like with Fenrir yelling, he's going hybrid after that. It's like
What's to note is that none of you actually lost any health from that.
It was just psychological kind of suffering.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. Well,
Fenrir,
Nox doesn't like
as you're
playing with
looking
Will-o-wisp.
around for an exit, and Nox, as you're planning on taking an opportunity, you see an open door just a little bit away from you.
So Nox is going to channel divinity, turn undead.
Mm-hmm. What will
Which
that do exactly?
each undead that can see or hear you within 30 feet must make a wisdom saving throw. If the creature fails its saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. A turned creature must spend its turns trying to move as far away from you as it possibly can, and it cannot willingly move into a space within 30 feet of you. It also can't take reactions, and for its action, it can only use the dash action to try to escape.
That won't work on me.
Guess we die then.
Aw, I don't want to kill you. I just want to play.
I guess Fenrir will like grab at Nox's collar and go and try and jump through the door or whatever.
Given you'd have still seen him attempt to create the diversion, that would still have been the signal to go, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you're jumping through the door, your hand essentially becomes incorporeal, and Nox, you are no longer dragged. And as Fenrir goes to the door slams shut. And she goes, I guess I can play with you separately if you'd like. Now, how to torture you, Nox?
Given I've been tortured by experts in the field, I may have a hard time.
That's true.
Any compassion is gone from Nox's voice at this point.
Maybe this will irks you.
Are we gonna stop it like here?
No?
Okay.
She appears next to you and whispers into your ear. You were the one who unlocked the first key. And destroyed the first lock shackling the demon prince down.
Is that why I lost my
No. But you are the reason why he is being successfully resurrected.
I don't think Nox is the type to have guilt for something he doesn't remember.
Yeah, definitely not. He's just absorbing all this information.
As she sees this, she gets visibly upset. And as you look next to her, now that she's not whispering in your ear, you see she's just floating in the air. And she enrages and goes, "Why doesn't it affect you? It affects everyone. Just look at him." And a window appears, and Fenrir, you're being stabbed over and over again with silver-tipped weapons. Just
can he be chained up
in
too?
agony. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Can he be chained up too?
Yes.
Personal nightmare.
You are chained like I can't remember what the show is, but you know how in some like films how people are like chained in like the center of the room with the chains being in the ceiling?
Yeah, from like wrists and ankles.
Essentially that's what's happening. Silver shackles, and he's being suspended into the air, and he's just being stabbed over and over again by silver-tipped weapons.
He's just gonna be yelling about it and be like, "No, no humans, stop."
Fenrir, as you see humans, Nox, as you're looking at the scenes, you see dolls.
Oh, creepy.
Like human-sized, but like
Mannequins.
kind of like, yeah, mannequins doing it.
Nox would probably take the opportunity to try and get a hold of this thing's consciousness again.
And the plane goes flat. No longer are you in a house. She is there in front of you, and she goes, "Why are you going deeper?"
And Nox would start pulling up really happy memories from like his time in the woods and other times out on the road with people. Like,
stop it.
Everything that is the opposite of what she's trying to
Stop
achieve.
it.
And then like
No happiness.
start
Nothing.
weaving in images of her having
Get out
fun
of my
and
head.
playing with other kids.
Stop it. I'm the one
and, like,
supposed to be torturing you.
with the family and like Yule and all that kind of stuff.
Stop this. And you see the plane around you, you see cracks in reality, in this reality, start to form as you're flooding her mind with just happiness. And she
I'd say that as I'm doing this, the image of Nox in her mind would be growing bigger, the horns would be growing longer, the teeth would be growing sharper, and the eyes would be glowing.
Stop.
Like he's like going full infernal while just bombarding her with happiness.
And she screams for the last time, "Stop," and reality breaks. And you are at the riverbank. Nobody is around. Except for Fenrir, who you can see the burns of the silver are still there. Fenrir, you're kind of like curled up in a ball at the moment on the grass, like trying to just recover from the pain of being stabbed over and over again and the burnings of the shackles.
So at this point, Nox's immediate reaction would be to cast Sleep at the highest available level that he has on Fenrir.
I'll have Fenrir just be repeating like, I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
What is the highest level I can do this? 4th level is the highest. So I gotta figure out.
I mean,
how
you're a full caster. Yeah, I guess 4th level. Oh, wait.
I think, I think it's 4th. Yeah, 4th.
So when you use a spell of 2nd level or higher, roll an additional 2d8. So it's, I think it's 5d8 to begin with. So then 7, 9, 12? No, 10. 10d8?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, it might not work, but
Wait.
I mean, I suppose you could technically
Wait,
choose
it's
to
5
fail
to
it.
start with, and you add 2 per level,
Yes.
and this is 4, and this is 3 levels higher.
Yeah.
So it's 11 d8, because it has to be an odd
Okay.
number.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's only barely possible to break my unless I've taken a lot of psychic
48.
damage.
I mean,
What's your health at?
I mean, it depends. Have I taken psychic damage?
No.
Well, then no. I have almost 80 health.
You haven't taken any damage at all.
It's like psychic damage is not physical damage. It's just pain.
Then I guess you've taken
Yeah.
a little bit of psychic damage, but not enough to bring you down to 48.
fair enough then. In that case, Nox would just sit and start setting up the hut. He was just going to put him to sleep, set the hut up, and drag him inside.
As you're setting up the hut, Catface comes out of your bag, and he kind of saunters over, like cautiously goes over to Fenrir and kind of like paws at like his leg.
Nox would be concentrating on the spell, but it'd sort of like crack one eye open and look over and go, "What is it?"
It's just like pawing your leg and like rubbing up against you and trying to make you feel better in his own little way.
He's gonna like just casually being like hybrid form and just be like, no, get away. It doesn't seem to like being touched very much, especially now. Not necessarily a reaction at him, but the reaction.
He doesn't go away. And he doesn't, seeing the opening, he goes closer to you and closer towards your face and your chest as he kind of rubs more up against your chest and kind of just stays there.
No, don't touch me. He's just kind of growling. Maybe crying just a little bit.
Catface doesn't say anything, doesn't do anything. He just remains there.
Yeah, 10 minutes pass. Nox had finished setting up the hut by the river.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would work. He would like work on take him inside and settle him down and just let him recover. Because like, although he was largely unaffected by what was going on, he's well aware of the impact of it because he's done it to others. And then he could use healing magic as well on Fenrir. Not so much to mend damage, but to ease pain.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just prepare food and whatnot and figure, like, may as well rest here for the night. Like, the rest of the afternoon and the night.
He's taking long breaths. They're gonna eventually just casually just mention, like, I hate people. I want to go home.
That was not people. That was anything but.
That's how they always act.
Well, for what it's worth, soon we will travel back through the university and you can see where I live, and I think you'll prefer it greatly to this.
The smile just the tiniest bit.
Nox might just reach over and put a finger to his forehead and just show him images of his home, like the area that he used to live, like the big tree that he used to sleep in, and like a grove that he tended, and the dryads and stuff, and just try and convey the sense of peace and contentment that he had there, because like he didn't know his past and everything, he just knew what was at the time and that he was happy there, and hope that it's enough to relax Fenrir into sleeping.
Fenrir, as you see the memories, as you see the dryads, you are shocked. Because the only dryads you've ever met were hostile. And mean and bitter. And tried to harm you.
So if Nox sensed him tense up or whatever, he might say, "Why do you fear dryads?"
He's gonna like swat away the hand. He's gonna be like, just real quick. I don't like being touched. They are nature spirits. No, as benevolent as a storm. Does that make sense?
Not to me.
As benevolent as a storm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I want to make sure you.
Yeah,
We
now I get
the
it.
same
Yeah.
reaction of,
Yeah.
They are just a force of nature that do not necessarily. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
you.
As
okay.
benevolent as a storm.
Now I got you.
They protect the balance. They have long allowed me to live within their woods, despite my unnatural existence.
Perhaps I just am one side of that balance then.
Or you just met a particularly bad batch. These exist within the university and they tend the forests. They are tolerant of people on the fact that they are in a country that is dedicated to education and balance.
I suppose I can't assume the nature I grew up in is what is standard.
The land in which you grew up is the odd one out of all the others. The rules there differ greatly, and I would imagine dryads living in such an area where magic is so corrupt would have gone positively mad. Anyway, rest for now, we are safe. That wisp is dealt with. Morning. Or if you wake up in the early hours, we can set out in dark.
Alright, and that is where we're gonna end it for tonight. If you want to do anything small, I'm gonna skip for next session. I'm gonna skip you guys traveling to Aranor.
Ayanor.
I'm gonna skip that little bit. So if there's anything small you want to do, we can do that really quickly.
Not really, I suppose. Not to be recovering from a mental battle with a mental spirit.
Fenrir, anything you want to do?
Fenrir will be better in a couple of days. He does legitimately not like being touched, though.
No, touchy.
No touchy. Like, like God, why is that so
I
hard for
know.
humans?
Cafe's only knows how to touch people to make them feel better, though.
So, out of curiosity, are we gonna kind of retroactively say that Mason stopped off at Ayanor and we carried on to
That would make sense.
Yes.
because he said he had stuff to take care of there, and then I'm quite happy, obviously, when he comes back to take a back seat and let him do what he needs to.
Yep. That's what we're gonna be doing.
Because then we could say that we've come back and caught up with him.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is he back next week?
He should be.
Nice.
Yeah, because he sent it on the 6th, which was last Monday. So he said 2 weeks, so that would have been the 9th and this session. So next session, he should be back.
Perfecto. So yeah, we can let him take the lead.
Mhm.
And then at some point, when he's made enough progress, we can appear in town.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
All right. That is where we're going to end it. See you all next time. Bye-bye.
Ciao.